In a tranquil town, a series of mysterious creature attacks shatters the peace. Not only do these creatures assault animals, but they also target humans, leaving behind perplexing wounds. Welcome to the Alpha's Love channel. If you enjoy this story, don't forget to subscribe and give it a thumbs up. Chapter 8. Our town of Moonmist quickly vanished behind us. Trees and the random small cottage dotted the landscape as we came to the border of our territory in misty pines. I grabbed a phone and scrolled through the music trying to find something to listen to while we drove the 3 hours to the next town. Oh look. What? I asked, looking up. That place looks like fun. Let's stop. I looked up and saw a rather interesting place. There were toll tracks with cars on them. Water slides and swimming pools. What is that place? I don't know. I've never been before. Let's go. This is what happens when you never leave your territory. I grumbled. Let's go. She pulled into the parking lot and we headed up to the gates. Hi, welcome to Wolfie's World. Hi. How long has this place been here? Oh, we're actually fairly new. This is just our 5th season. Have you ever been here before? We both shook our heads. New guest. Welcome. The very cheerful girl sold us tickets and handed us a map with all of their attractions. It wasn't a very large place. She called it an amusement park, but it looked like it could be fun for a few hours. They have a petting zoo. Ashley gushed. Let's go pet stuff. I laughed and agreed. We entered through large and extravagant gates. My senses were completely overwhelmed. There was more than just those from Moonmist here. I didn't know so many different wolves came here. I whispered. I know. We need more intermingling amongst the packs. This is awesome. Look at that. She yelled, pointing towards a roller coaster. That's what the girl at the gate called it. That rushed past us. Oh my goddess. Let's go on that. I laughed and followed as she dragged me towards the line. If this place has been here for 5 years, why haven't our parents brought us here? I shrugged my shoulders. I don't know. I mean, being the daughters of the Beta and the Gamma, we never left Moonmist. Like ever. The furthest I went is like a mile beyond the borders of town. Me too. Dad did always say there were extra dangers out there for high-born children. Maybe that's why. To my aged extraordinaire, Madeline Noble, heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. We walked through the entire park and rode as much as we could and spent what felt like hours petting all the adorable animals they had. I loved the little bunnies. There were so many of so many different colors. I want one so bad. I squealed as an extremely fluffy black and white bunny snuggled into my neck. She's so sweet. I want goats. Ashley yelled as a little goat chased her around the barnyard. We laughed and ran around like we were just young pups again. For the first time in days, I forgot about the heartache that I'd felt. As the sun waned in the sky, we finally walked back to the car. I could spend like every day there. Ashley said excitedly, Me too. When we get back, we will. Absolutely yay. We were quickly back on the road again, heading toward our destination, Misty Pines. I stared out the window, holding my hand out, letting the air whoosh through my fingers, and watching the trees zoom past us. We came to a T in the road. Which way? Go right. Misty Pines is right. Left circles back to Moonmist. Right it is. As she pulled out from the stop sign, a dump truck barreled down the road. That truck is going really fast. To my agent extraordinaire, Madeline Noble, heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. What? Ashley looked at me as the car accelerated a bit. The truck. I screamed as it slammed into the side of the car. Ashley's screams were cut short as the metal crushed in around us. Glass cutting our faces and arms. The car turned on its side and flipped down the road, crushing the roof down on top of our heads. I screamed until we stopped. We rested on the roof, everything eerily silent. I reached for the seat belt, releasing myself from the suspended state that I was in. Ash. I called out. She didn't respond. To my agent extraordinaire, Madeleine Noble, heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. Her arms hung down and she didn't move. To my agent extraordinaire, Madeleine Noble, heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. I reached over and shook her. She didn't move. Hey, are you guys okay? The man who was driving the truck ran up to the car. Are you guys okay? He repeated, pulling open my door. I think I am. What happened? I looked at the man whose face was pale and ashen. The collar of his shirt was wet and he seemed to have red water on his head. He shook his head. I don't know. My brakes went out. My horn wouldn't work. It was a complete failure in the truck. To my agent extraordinaire, Madeleine Noble, heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. Help Ashley, I grunted, pulling myself from the twisted wreckage. Please, help Ashley. He ran to the driver's side and pulled open her door. Oh, Goddess. What's wrong? I pulled myself up and stumbled to the opposite side of the car and stared at the red watery, mangled mess that was Ashley. Her head was covered in red water and something was bulging out of the side. I stepped forward and saw that one of her arms was bent. The Ash. I dropped to my knees, crying. Please, wake up. Ash, she didn't move. This can't be happening. I am so sorry. To my agent extraordinaire, Madeleine Noble, heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. Please, come on. Let's wait by the truck until paramedics arrive. I don't understand why this is happening. I'm so sorry. He cried with me. I sat on the ground, hugging my knees. Dad was going to be so mad. Gamma Arthur was going to be furious. We'd only been gone half a day and look what happened. We should have stayed home. This was such a stupid idea. I continued sobbing. What? We were going on a road trip to all the packs. I felt bad about myself and we decided to leave. Oh, come on now. It was an accident. An unavoidable accident. We should have just stayed home. Sirens in the distance slowly came closer. The trucker started to sway a bit as he stood in front of me. I wiped my tears and watched for a few seconds. Hey, mister. Are you all right? His eyes rolled into the back of his head and he fell to the ground. I let out a scream and jumped to my feet. Oh, my goddess. What is happening? I knelt over him, shaking his shoulder. His head just lolled back and forth. Sweat beaded on his forehead as red water pooled beneath him. To my agent extraordinaire, Madeleine Noble, heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. Hey, mister. He wasn't breathing. The red water spread down his shoulder and his neck looked like it has some kind of wound on it. Did he cut himself in the accident? I pushed my hands onto his neck, trying to stop the bleeding. Help. Please. Someone. The man let out a horrible gurgle sound, which I felt in the palm of my hand. Please, don't be dead. Don't be dead. I can't handle this. I let go of his neck when his chest stopped rising and falling. My hands and arms were covered in his red water. My heart felt like it was about to just drop out of my body. I stood and stumbled backward, staring at the wreckage before me. I screamed. The lights of the ambulance and police came into view. I closed my eyes as blackness took over. Ashley was dead, and it was my fault. Chapter 9. The blackness took over for just a moment. I opened my eyes, gasping in a deep breath while looking around wildly. What? Where am I? Hey, chill. What's up? I looked over at Ashley. She was alive. We were in the car. I could feel the tears just start falling. What the hell was that? Wide-eyed. What was what? The accident. You were dead. I'm not dead. You were. We were hit by a truck. What's going on? I looked out the window as the trees zoomed by. I sat up and stared around us. This looks really familiar, huh? Around this bend. We're going to come to a T. You'll have to turn right. Okay. There is going to be a busted up pickup on your side. A mailbox. On my side will be a really, really big tree. Right. To my agent extraordinaire, Madeleine Nobel. Heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. She rounded the corner and saw the truck. Weird. She mumbled. Do not go. What? Don't go. I repeated. Don't go. I shook my head. Just wait. In about 30 seconds, a dump truck that loses control is going to come barreling through its stop sign and not stop. There are no trucks. Please, don't go yet. To my agent extraordinaire, Madeleine Nobel. Heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. I won't go. We sat in silence for the world's longest 30 seconds. Ashley sighed heavily just as the truck sped past us. Holy shit. She screamed as we watched the runaway truck fly off the side of the road and end up in the ditch. We were supposed to be hit by that truck. To my agent extraordinaire, Madeleine Nobel. Heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. Taking my seatbelt off. She followed suit and we ran to where the truck wrecked. The back tire was still spinning while we pulled open the passenger side door. Hey, are you okay? He groaned a bit. Call for help really quick while I get his seatbelt off. Then, come help me. Yeah, Ashley said quietly, running back for her phone. I'm taking your seatbelt off. To my agent extraordinaire, Madeleine Nobel. Heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. To my agent extraordinaire, Madeleine Nobel. Heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. Reaching to the man's side. His shoulder was covered in red water, just like before. What happened? I don't know. Everything just failed. Ashley came back and helped me pull him out. I grabbed a towel that was on the dashboard and held it to his neck. What's wrong? I don't know. He's bleeding. Did he get cut? I don't know what on. There's nothing in there. Was he bleeding when we were hit? I figured it was from the accident. To my agent extraordinaire, Madeleine Nobel. Heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. This whole thing is weird. I'm totally freaking out right now. The man lost consciousness as the sirens could be heard. I sat there holding the now red water-soaked towel to his neck. What is that? Ashley pointed behind me. I turned to look at a bright, white light emanating from the side of the truck. Wait, you can see that? Oh, yeah. As we stared, Artemis appeared in front of us. What in the goddess Artemis? What is going on? You have discovered one of your gifts? Ellie. I ignored Ashley and her freak out beside me. One of my gifts. Yes, Eleanor. To my agent extraordinaire, Madeleine Nobel. Heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. But, to my agent extraordinaire, Madeleine Nobel. Heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. Who's the bright, pretty lady? She whispered. Artemis turned towards my friend. Hello, dear child. To my agent extraordinaire, Madeleine Nobel. Heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. This is our goddess, Artemis. Artemis smiled at my now silent friend. I can see the goddess. She whispered. Yes, Ashley. I chose to allow you to see me as well. I must thank you for believing my daughter despite how crazy it all sounds. It's all true. I knew it was true, but it's like true. Oh, my goddess. This is like a thing. It's happening. I sighed. Ashley. What is going on? Artemis. I'm confused about what happened to him. She glanced down at the man. She knelt beside me and placed her hand on my hands. She quickly pulled back and stood. What? Ashley asked. That is no ordinary wound. It seems familiar, but it's so foggy around him. The coming threat. She nodded solemnly. What do I do? There is nothing you can do. Those coming will take him, but there is no hope. You both must discover what is causing this. Both? What do you mean both? What is going on? Ashley asked, mildly freaking out. It's what I was telling you about. That weird feeling I've had. It's coming closer. How do we find out what this is? We'll have to look around before police get here. That's going to be like now. I'm sorry. Artemis. Please excuse me. I must look in his truck quickly before they're here. To my agent extraordinaire, Madeleine Noble. Heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. But you must hurry. I feel the threat getting closer. I nodded and pulled Ashley down. Hold your hands here. Where are you going? To his truck. I'm going to see what I can find really quick. I hopped into the dump truck and looked around. It was surprisingly empty. A clipboard had fallen on the floor. I picked it up and read through it. The last place he stopped was Misty Pines. How convenient. That's where we're going. I guess that's where we have to start looking. I must go. Eleanor. I jumped down from the truck and stared at Artemis. Goodbye. She reached her hand out and cut my cheek. Goodbye. To my agent extraordinaire, Madeleine Noble. Heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. She smiled and vanished as quickly as she'd appeared. I'm so confused, Ashley said. I'm still confused when I see her. So, what's happening? What are we doing? What happened to him? Whatever threat is coming, it's coming fast, but we don't know what it is. Right. Whatever that threat is, it must have touched this man or caused this accident. Right, Ashley said again. So according to his clipboard, he came from Misty Pines. When we get to Misty Pines, we have to look around more. Who does he work for? Let me look. The letterhead on his sheet said, Harry's Trucking. Looks like a place called Harry's Trucking. Okay, so we find Harry. Yeah, we have to find Harry. The ambulance pulled up and came to a screeching halt. Two people jumped out with a bag and ran to us. What happened? Ashley and I told them everything about the trucker speeding past us, crashing, and him saying that everything failed. They dressed his wound and loaded him into the ambulance. As they were getting ready to leave, a police car pulled up. We repeated the story as the police officer's partner examined the accident. You girls are lucky that you're okay. We looked at each other and nodded. Well, we're going to get this truck towed. You two are free to go. We both nodded and headed to the car. We were supposed to die. Ashley asked. You were. You and the driver. That would have sucked. Yeah, it would have. Let's get to Misty Pines and figure this crazy shit out. We drove in silence for a while, still reading from what happened. After an hour, a sign on the side of the road appeared. Welcome to Misty Pines territory. Enjoy your stay. I guess we're here. There's nothing here, I mumbled. Misty Pines isn't known for its overabundance of anything. I guess not. Let's look for the town. Chapter 10 To my agent extraordinaire, Madeleine Noble. Heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. Ashley asked, stopping a short distance from a decrepit-looking gas station. There was one pump in front of a worn, down shack-like building. The once white paint was faded and peeling. Weeds grew through the cracked pavement and the broken-down-looking car was up on blocks on the side of the building. A man sat out front sipping on something with a small dog next to him. Does he have a dog? Yeah, Ashley muttered. Isn't that weird? A wolf owning a dog. She shrugged her shoulders. Nothing about this place seems normal yet. Let's just go into town. Maybe we can find that alpha or beta. I mean, they have those. Ashley shrugged her shoulders again. Who knows? This place creeps me out. It's so I don't know. We proceeded slowly through the one-road dusty town. It was vastly different than our metropolis at Moon Mist, which wasn't big when you compared it to the royal city of Winter Lake or Silver Peak. Small ramshackle cottages dotted the roadway, leading to a roundabout that continued out of town. There was a town hall, what looked like an emergency station with a police ambulance fire truck combination out front. People lazily walked along the sidewalks, staring open-mouthed at us. I don't think they get many visitors, Ashley said. I don't think so either. I pointed toward the town hall. I think that's probably our best option of finding anyone. She nodded and pulled along the curb. You think it's fine to park here? Does it matter? I don't think we have to worry about anyone hitting the car. Where are you? Harmony's texting. I grumbled. Oh, Ashley asked. What did she say? She asked where I am. What are you going to tell her? I exited the message and stuck my phone in my pocket. Absolutely nothing. Ashley laughed while taking off her seatbelt. We climbed out of a convertible and climbed the few steps to the doors. Inside smelled musty and dusty. There was a small desk in a corner with a young girl sitting there flipping through a magazine. To my agent extraordinaire, Madeleine Nilben, heartfelt thanks for your unfailing enthusiasm. To my agent extraordinaire, Madeleine Nilben, heartfelt thanks for your unfailing enthusiasm. She glanced up, looking me and Ashley up and down. Is your alpha here by chance? Yes, who are you? I'm Eleanor. Moon Miss Bay to Kenwick's daughter, and this is Ashley Gamma Arthur's daughter. Moon Mist. Aren't you far from home? The girl asked. Yes. We were on our way to Winter Lake and decided to visit the other packs. Is your alpha busy? Let me check. To my agent extraordinaire, Madeleine Nilben, heartfelt thanks for your unfailing enthusiasm. I appreciate that. She rolled her eyes and got up from her desk. We watched her walk to the first door in the hallway and pop her head in. Alpha Brutus. There are some girls here. We're not just some girls. Ashley mumbled. I heard a muffled response and she whispered to him before walking back to us. He's not busy. She motioned toward the door. Thanks, I muttered, walking to where she came from. We knocked and waited. To my agent extraordinaire, Madeleine Nilben, heartfelt thanks for your unfailing enthusiasm. We opened the door and entered the small, cluttered office. Filing cabinets lined the walls with folders open everywhere. It was so much different than Alpha Anwar's more modern office. Who are you? Ladies. Oh, your receptionist didn't tell you. He shook his head. I'm Eleanor. Moon Miss Bay to Kenwick's daughter, and this is Ashley Gamma Arthur's daughter Roe. Oh, she didn't say we had high-ranking individuals in town. I'm sure it was a mistake on her part. She's a surly type. She opted to not tell me. That's what happens when you hire your wife's miserable sister as a receptionist. Please, sit. Thank you. So, we don't do those kinds of formalities here. We're a simple wolf in these parts. I smiled and sat in the rickety chair in Freddie's overloaded desk. I appreciate that. What brings you here? We're on our way to Winter Lake. A bit over border with Moonness there was an accident. A dump truck from Harry's trucking crashed. Harry's trucking. His shop is around the corner. Is Harry okay? Is that who was driving? Ashley asked. Either him or his brother Bob. I'm not sure. He was taken to our medical center in town. I'll have to tell his wife. I appreciate you letting me know. That's not the only reason why we came. There was a weird wound on his neck. I couldn't quite place it. Do you know if he was attacked by anything? Attacked? By what? I don't know. The wound was just very strange. Alpha Brutus leaned forward, folding his hands in front of his face, and pursing his lips. How peculiar. I haven't received reports of any attacks or sightings of any abnormal creatures. To my agent extraordinaire, Madeleine Milburn, heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. Well, keep an eye out. We will definitely do that. I smiled and glanced at Ashley. Would you ladies like a tour of the town? Yes, that would be great. Thank you, I answered. To my agent extraordinaire, Madeleine Milburn, heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. Let's go, he exclaimed, slapping his desk. Not many people visit us. I noticed that the town is a bit derelict, he asked with a laugh. Not quite what I was going to say. It seems really empty. With a neglected pack. Pardon. When Winterlake does their pack auditing every year and dole out the tax funds for repairs to cities and extra funding, we tend to be overlooked. I'm so sorry. Why is that? They tend to hold a grudge. Ever since my great-grandfather led the revolt against King Osan's great-grandfather, we've been neglected. That doesn't seem fair. It's not your fault or your pack's fault for what happened 150 years ago. He shrugged his shoulders. Pretty soon there won't be a Misty Pines. What? Our pack members have been defecting to other packs or going rogue. Nobody wants to live in a dying pack. What if I would inquire about a sit-down between you and the king, and even Alpha Anwar? You would do that. To my agent extraordinaire, Madeleine Milburn, heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. You and your people shouldn't be punished for the sins of the past. I would appreciate that a lot. Young lady, it would be my pleasure, I said with a smile. He led us down the street and pointed out different sights to us. As we crossed a field, a familiar metallic smell invaded my nostrils. My inner wolf whimpered again. Calm down. Oh, goddess, what is that smell? Ashley asked, covering her nose, her eyes watering. Alpha Brutus sniffed the air before letting out a small snuff. I have no idea. I've never smelled that before. I have. To my agent extraordinaire, Madeleine Milburn, heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. Following the putrid scent of red water, old dirt, and old meat. You have? Ashley asked. Yesterday, on the border of our property in Moon Mist. It was a deer with a similar wound to what the trucker had. It was drained of red water and smelled horrid. What caused it? Alpha Brutus asked. We're not sure. My father was having the animal examined to see if they could figure that very thing out. We followed the smell well into the forest until we found the source. It was a person. They lay, without clothes, and dead. That is not a werewolf. I shook my head. I think it's a human. How the hell would a human end up in the middle of werewolf territory? Ashley questioned, slightly panicking. I don't know. There's supposed to be a barrier between our world and humans. They're not supposed to be able to cross over. I pulled out my phone and scrolled to my dad's number. What are you doing? Alpha Brutus questioned. Calling my father. Would you mind if they sent a team here to inspect the body? He shook his head no. We definitely can't handle this. He motioned his hands over the body. "You're not ready to come home already, are you?" Dad asked, answering his phone. I laughed lightly. "No, old wolf. We're in Misty Pines. How is it there?" That's why I'm calling. What happened? Are you okay?" "Yeah, we're fine." "Listen, do you remember the deer I smelled yesterday?" "Yes, they have the same smell here." "To my agent extraordinaire, Madeleine Noble, heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm." "Can they handle it?" "No, and it's not a deer." "What is it?" "Human." "What?" he yelled. "It doesn't smell like a wolf and it's in human shape. We're on our way. Stay there. Eleanor. We'll wait for you." I hung up and turned toward Alpha Brutus and Dashley. So that was Dad. And he is coming with a team. Beta Kenrick. He's coming here. I nodded. We trekked back to Alpha Brutus' office and waited. Ashley and I waited inside while he pulled together his emergency employees to block off the body from anyone being able to tamper with it. I sat in a chair while Ashley riffled through his papers. "Stop snooping. That's Alpha business. Not ours. You're not even a little curious." "To my agent extraordinaire, Madeleine Noble, heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm." "But those are probably official papers." She shrugged. "Then I guess he should have filed them better, huh? And what official business could they possibly be doing in this backwards creep town?" I pursed my lips as she flipped through each page. "Find anything?" "Not yet. It's all basic town records. To my agent extraordinaire, Madeleine Noble, heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm." A list of those who defected. What money has been spent where? That is actually interesting. I stood and looked at the papers, pulling out my phone to take a few photos. Now that is probably illegal. Probably, but we might be able to use this later. On what? I don't know, but it might be useful. We waited for what seemed like forever before I heard my dad yelling at the receptionist. "Little girl, I do not need your attitude. You will get your Alpha and you will find my daughter." I stuck my head out the door from Alpha Brutus, office and waved to him. "Hi, Dad." He let out a low growl at the girl before storming into Alpha Brutus' office. "What is this mess?" "The Alpha's office. Where is the Alpha?" "He's with the body, making sure nobody disturbs it." "He's really nice." Dad, she Estoffel. He hugged me tightly. "Come with us. To my agent extraordinaire, Madeleine Noble, heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm." "Did you get any information from the bear? Did the doctors call you about the truck driver?" I asked as we left the building. "Yes, he is in the ICU right now. He's still alive." Ashley gasped. "Barely. You'd have saved his life. I'm so glad he's all right." Dad and his team followed Ashley and me to the spot where the body rested. "What happened to it?" Staring at the aged body. "What? That's not what it looked like a few hours ago." Chapter 11. What do you mean? Dad asked. "The body wasn't so old and shriveled." Ashley finished. "What? Yeah. It looked younger. Like our age. Not that old and shriveled. And the hair wasn't white." Dad turned to look at Alpha Brutus. "Has anyone touched the body?" He shook his head no. "This is the first time we're looking at it since we set up the perimeter. We've been patrolling." Dad knelt down next to the body and pulled out a pair of medical gloves. He pushed the head to the side, revealing a wound similar to Harry's. He motioned for one of the men he was with over to him. They whispered to one another for a moment before the man took a few pictures. "To my agent extraordinaire, Madeleine Noble, heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm." "If you're okay with it, we're going to take the body back to Moon Mist for further study." "That's fine. We are definitely not equipped to deal with this kind of thing. Dad nodded and the others from his team went to the van they arrived in. He grabbed my shoulders and stared deep into my eyes. To my agent extraordinaire, Madeleine Noble, heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. I don't want you and Ashley staying here for long. We have no idea how long this body has been here or if whatever killed him is still around. The next territory over is Deer Creek. It's about 50 miles, so I hope that it is far enough that you'll get away from it. To my agent extraordinaire, Madeleine Noble, heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. You can spend some time there before moving on to Silver Peak. Sure thing. To my agent extraordinaire, Madeleine Noble, heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. Be careful driving. If you get tired, switch out with Ellie. You too. Make sure you pay attention to things around you. To my agent extraordinaire, Madeleine Noble, heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. Can you just come with us? I wish I could, honey, but I can't. I'm going with this body back to Moonlist and I have to check in with the necropsy on that deer in the tow truck guy. Harry, Ashley said. Ad looked at my friend. The tow truck guy is named Harry O. To my agent extraordinaire, Madeleine Noble, heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. Well, I have to check on Harry. Harry's alive. Alpha Brutus asked yes. He's on life support right now. He lost a lot of red water and had a bad wound on his neck. His family is on their way there. Good. That's a good thing, Dad said. So that's a no-go on you joining us. To my agent extraordinaire, Madeleine Noble, heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. Sorry. To my agent extraordinaire, Madeleine Noble, heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. You two are going to have to continue on your own. We both nodded. Dad kissed my forehead and then kissed Ashley's forehead. I love you both. We watched as he walked away, followed by his team carrying the body in a black bag. Your dad is freaking me out. Me too. Should we be worried about this? I guess. What do we look for? Girl. I have no idea. And Artemis doesn't know. According to her, no. Let's get out of here. I'm totally freaked out. To my agent extraordinaire, Madeleine Noble, heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. It's only 50 miles. Want me to drive? Nah. Jogging through the field toward her car. Ladies. Alpha Brutus called as we reached the convertible. I'm sorry that you had to go through this. But I'm awful glad you were able to get Beta Kenrick here to take this over. I don't know what I've done on my own. You would have figured something out. You're a resourceful Alpha. On your way back to Moon Mist, do stop by and say hello. We definitely will. Bye, sir. Bye, ladies. Ashley started the car and pulled away from the town hall, driving a little faster than she should have to reach the territory limits. Eleanor, you cannot ignore your future Luna and future Luna and future Alpha. You will return home. Immediately. Goddess. Now Alex is texting me. What? I responded. Are you going to respond? No, I replied a bit quietly. I'm going to forward them. To who? I hit end on the forward button, smiling. Oh, for Anwar. He can deal with those too. Ashley burst into a peal of gut-busting laughter. They are ridiculous. But I'm sure once those two are in power I'm going to end up regretting it. I'll have to go rogue then. No, you will be alright. Maybe. We drove on the sun setting and throwing the countryside into darkness. I hit the button for the convertible top to go up as Ashley switched on the headlights. Snack. Yup. I dug through the bags and handed her Inders and one of her diet drive. To my agent extraordinaire, Madeleine Noban, heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. We need some real food. Yeah, we do. I agreed. What to stop at the next place? Once we were over the territory border, I don't trust this place. To my agent extraordinaire, Madeleine Noban, heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. She replied, Then let's step on it and get out of Creekville. Sounds good. She accelerated, zooming through the dense forest of misty pines closing in on the territory line. As we crossed into Silver Creek, everything seemed to lighten almost. The dread and doom that hung over misty pines lifted off of everything. There's a diner right there. Oh, that's adorable. To my agent extraordinaire, Madeleine Noban, heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. Glancing at the little train car looking building. That looks good. We pulled into the parking lot, the only car there. To my agent extraordinaire, Madeleine Noban, heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. The walls were lined with booths and the counter had bar stools all along it. Hi girls. Take any seat you want. To my agent extraordinaire, Madeleine Noban, heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. Slightly overweight woman wearing a blue dress and white apron said with a wave. Thanks, we both said, sliding into the first booth. She placed menus in front of us and pulled out a notepad. You girls aren't from around here, are you? No, we ray from Moon Mist. We're heading toward Winter Lake. Oh, the Royal City. It has been ages since I've been there. You've been there? Oh heavens, yes. When I was a little girl. It's an incredible place. Everything sparkles. I swear the buildings just sparkle. It's all shiny and old but new looking. She had a twinkle in her eye as she talked about it. What can I get for you? We scanned the menu quickly and put in our orders. Yawning, we looked around hoping to find something that could tell us where the closest hotel was located. The cheerful woman came back with our drinks and soups, placing them in front of us. You wouldn't know of any hotels that we could check into, yes. The Windsor downtown is really nice. The Hideaway Cove in the mountains is very cozy, and Sunset Creek Lodge is absolutely adorable. That's great. So are you heading to Winter Lake for business or pleasure? She questioned. Business. Beta Kenrick is my father and Gamma Arthur is her father. Oh, high-ranking wolves. I do apologize. I waved my hand at her. Please, don't. We prefer a more relaxed atmosphere. The whole professional thing is more suited for my father. She smiled and bounced away. I have something just for you girls. You've been on the road a while, right? Yes, ma'am. Ashley replied. The woman giggled at being called ma'am. She returned with 2 plates of apple pie topped with ice cream and caramel drizzle. She winked. Ashley and I both broke into wide smiles. This looks incredible. The woman giggled again. I hope you like it. It's the one thing in this place that I get to make. We ate all of the food and dessert slowly, enjoying the peace and relaxation we finally got to experience. So where to? Ashley asked, as we paid our bill and waddled to the car, stuffed from all the food. I think downtown is probably our safest option right now. Let's head to the Windsor. Oh Goddess, I hope they have a spa. I need a massage so bad after all this driving. A pedicure and money too. I groaned. My paws are barking. We both laughed as we drove, slower, down the country road until the bright lights of the city showed over the horizon. Wow, Ashley said, stunned. Right. I always heard that Silver Peak was an impressive city for how small of a space it takes up. Ashley slowed down as we approached what looked like the main street. Windsor Hotel wasn't hard to find. The building was wide, a beautiful white brick, and lit up like a Christmas tree. Red carpeted steps leading up to the main entrance, and bellhops stood at the doors. Well, look at this fancy. We definitely made the right decision. Checking in was easy. Even easier when they found out the fathers were Beta and Gamma. The room was expansive. 2 bedrooms with a living room in the middle. Room service ran 24 hours, and they did in fact have a spa. I'm getting a massage thing in the morning. Me too. But right now, I'm crashing. I am so tired. I nodded and headed toward the bathroom attached to my room. I stood in the shower for much longer than I planned before collapsing into bed in a night of restful sleep. Chapter 12. We both slept much longer than expected. I woke up around noon, not even a little upset about it. Hey, you awake? I heard Ashley's sleepy call. Yeah, I think. These beds are incredible. I never want to get out of mine. Me either, I shouted back to her. When we do get up, spa. Spa then what? Find the Alpha and meet with him. See if they had any weird attacks. Is that what we're doing for our entire vacation? Yup, I answered. Do it, LL, keep us busy. Now I'm gonna try to leave this ridiculously comfortable bed to go have a ridiculously comfortable spa day. We met in the living room and made our way down to the lobby area of the hotel. Oh, Miss Luna. The receptionist called. There is a message for you. Ma'am. A message. Yes, ma'am. Beta Kenrick left a message. He said he attempted to call you, but you didn't answer. Yeah. My phone was shut off. That was my bad. The young woman handed me a folded piece of paper. Thank you. To my agent extraordinaire, Madeline Nilban. Heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. I unfolded the note and my smile quickly disappeared. What's wrong? Ashley asked. Dad found out what the wound is. Oh, what is it? I showed her the paper. Bite. Bite. They're bite marks. What kind of creature makes those bite marks? I'm not sure. Have you ever seen a werewolf bite? I questioned. She shook her head. We don't do that. Right. I mean, I've ever heard of wolf just attacking someone and biting. Me either. Maybe it's werewolf bites, though. Don't you think your dad would recognize a werewolf bite, though? I put the paper in my pocket and pursed my lips. Well, I'm sure they'll figure that out, so let's go to the spa and forget about this for just a little bit. I nodded. You're right. They'll figure it out. The spa was beautiful. The walls were a very light beige with white accents. Soft music played over the speakers that seemed to be embedded in the walls and ceiling high. Welcome. Do you have an appointment? We do. We gave the receptionist our information and were led to a locker room in the back. There were robes and slippers sitting on a bench in front of 2 lockers for us. Now this is service, Ashley exclaimed, quickly changing from her clothes into one of the robes. Yeah. I can't wait for this massage. Ladies, if you'll follow me, please, a woman said, appearing from a side door. We were led into individual rooms with tables in the center. Please, lay on the table with your face in the hole. Your masseuse will be in shortly. Great. I removed the robe, standing in my sports bra and underwear, picking up the soft, white sheet that was folded on the table to cover up with. As I laid down, another woman in blue, cotton pants and a matching shirt entered. Hello. How are you? I'm Candy. I'll be doing your massage today. Hi, Candy. I'm great. How are you? I'm doing well. So I see that you're here for a Swedish massage. Great. Just lay down with your face in the hole and I'll get started. Sounds great. I did as she instructed and lay on the table face down. Candy pulled the sheet down to the bottom of my back and got started on my neck and back. The soft music mixed with her soft voice as she explained everything she was doing relaxed me to the point I forgot about the worries that were plaguing our trip. Well, that does it for our time. Stepping back. To my agent extraordinaire, Madeleine Noble. Heartfelt thanks for your unfading patience, enthusiasm. That was the fastest hour. She laughed lightly. They do tend to go by quickly. She motioned for me to follow her out. Down the hallway was another, larger room with large chairs and basins of water. Ashley was sitting in one, her feet soaking in water. How was yours? She questioned. Incredible. We sat and chatted while getting our feet scrubbed and our toes painted before moving on to our hands. Once we were finished, we quickly dressed and left the hotel. What now? Ashley asked. We find out where the alpha is. See what we can find out. Do we have to? I'm so relaxed right now. We have to. To my agent extraordinaire, Madeleine Noble. Heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. So if you were alpha of a swanky town like Silver Peak, where would you have your office? Don't they have to maintain an office in their town hall? Ashley shrugged her shoulders. I don't know. Let's start there. I think that's our best option. We walked along the main drag heading for what looked like the town hall building. It had a large clock tower on the front and looked to be significantly older than the rest of the buildings surrounding it. We walked up the steps and inside, where a security desk was at the entrance to a bank of elevators. Good afternoon. What is your business here today? What if the guards asked? We're here to see Alpha Wesley. To my agent extraordinaire, Madeleine Noble. Heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. Do you have an appointment? He questioned. No. Come in, who are you? I am Eleanor, Moon Mist Bay to Kenrick's daughter. And this is Gamma Arthur's daughter. To my agent extraordinaire, Madeleine Noble. Heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. Oh, I do apologize, ma'am. I'll see if he's available. Thank you. He picked up a phone and pushed a button while whispering into the receiver. He'll see you. Ladies, 2nd floor, 3rd door on the left. We took the elevator up to the 2nd floor and stared in wonder at the beautiful green and gold walls. This is impressive. Right. 3rd door on the right. The signage on the door read Alpha Wesley. Yeah, I would say this is the place. I knocked and waited. To my agent extraordinaire, Madeleine Noble. Heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. Inside was a large waiting room with chairs lining the wall. In front of yet another door was a moderately sized desk with an older woman sitting behind it. Good afternoon. How may I help you? Hi, I'm Eleanor and this is Ashley. We need to speak with Alpha Wesley. Please. To my agent extraordinaire, Madeleine Noble. Heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. He is waiting for you both. Would you like a tea or coffee? Coffee would be great. Thank you, I said as she led us through the 2nd door. Yes, coffee would be great. Do you have a particular flavor you like? She questioned, looking us over the rim of her glasses out. Yes, if you have anything vanilla. Me too, Ashley added. Absolutely. Ladies. Good choice. The French vanilla is my favorite. She winked at us before pushing an intercom button on her desk. To my agent extraordinaire, Madeleine Noble. Heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. The Beta and Gamma's daughters are here. Thank you. Henrietta, send them in. I've been expecting them. I appreciate you seeing us on such short notice. To my agent extraordinaire, Madeleine Noble. Heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. We're traveling to Winter Lake on unofficial pack business. To my agent extraordinaire, Madeleine Nilben, heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. Glancing at Ashley. There have been a series of attacks in Moon Mist and Misty Pines. Have you noticed or been informed of any strange attacks or bites recently? He nodded his head, looking solemn, yes. I am kind of aware of the situation that has been progressing further into the kingdom. Your Alpha phoned me this morning. He did. I stopped talking as Henrietta entered with 3 cups of coffee. Sir, I figured you may need a cup of coffee. Thank you, he said to the middle-aged, nearly all grey-haired woman. She smiled and nodded her head as she left the office. Yes, he did. He didn't elaborate much. He said you would be able to fill me in with what has been found so far. An unknown creature bite. We've come across 3 so far. The first was a deer found on my father's property. Another was a trucker who crashed on the outskirts of Moon Mist, and the other was a human found in Misty Pines. He looked at me like I had 3 heads. Did you say a human? As in a human? Ashley and I nodded our heads. How on earth did a human get into the kingdom? We're not sure, so we haven't been able to figure that out. I took a sip of my coffee. Have there been any attacks here? Alpha Wesley shook his head. Not that I'm aware of. I wouldn't know, though. Animal attacks are usually left up to our police chief. Would we be able to see him? Ashley questioned. Yes, of course. He should be at the station. Let me give him a quick call. The Alpha picked up his phone and made a quick call. He spoke swiftly and quietly into the receiver before hanging up. He's there. Ladies. Just head down the street about 2 blocks on the right. You can't miss it. I would walk you, but I'm expecting my beta in about 10 minutes. Oh, that's not a problem at all. We appreciate the time you took for us. Good luck with finding out what's attacking. We nodded and headed toward the police station. The city was even more beautiful the further we went in. Specialty boutiques lined the streets as people walked about chatting and shopping. Look at that store, Ashley exclaimed, stopping in front of a clothing shop. Later. But that dress, she squealed. We can stop when... Oh, fine. I grabbed her arm and drug her down the street to the police station. It's in the middle of a grassy patch, not quite as big as the town hall, but larger than the shops we just walked past. To my agent extraordinaire, Madeleine Nilben, heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. Let's go find this police chief. As we walked up the steps, the smell hit like a sack of bricks to the face. That smell, Ashley said, turning her head. It's the same. Do we get the chief or find where the smell is coming from? Both. I'll follow the smell. You get the chief and then follow. Are you sure? This smells a lot fresher than the other one. If I can see whatever is doing this, that could be helpful. What if it attacks? I guess I trust my wolf. She should be able to fight it off. Right. Ashley shrugged her shoulder. I have no clue. I've only been 18 for a few months. I haven't had to fight yet. Either way, we have to find whatever is doing this. You get the chief. I'll go after the smell. Chapter 13. I followed the smell to a dank alley. It was stronger and fresher. To my agent extraordinaire, Madeleine Nobel, heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. You already know what you're going to see. It's going to be another boy of some sort. I crept down the dark alley but stopped when I heard a strange noise. It sounded primal. To my agent extraordinaire, Madeleine Nobel, heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. Grunting, growling sound. What the hell? I tiptoed along the dumpster and peered around the side of it. Clapping my hand to my mouth, I tried to stifle a scream. To my agent extraordinaire, Madeleine Nobel, heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. Pale, Bipedal creature stooped over top a body. Eating it. Is it eating? What the hell? It turned to look at me. The eyes were red. And the mouth. Oh my goddess, the mouth. Razor, sharp teeth barred while it let out a high-pitched guttural scream at me as red water dribbled down its chin. The ears were pointed and it seemed there was no hair on them. It raised a hand with sharp claws into the air and looked like it might attack. My heart pounded in my chest. I was positive the creature could hear it. My inner wolf wanted out, and I wasn't about to stop her. My bones cracked and shifted as my muscles stretched and contorted, shifting my body into the large silver wolf. Fur sprouted all over my body in a thick, protective coat. I felt as though I was pushed to the back as the primal wolf took control. We let out a howl while the creature screeched at us. My wolf bared fang as the creature ran toward us. It bared the mouth of Razor, sharp teeth before stopping. We whipped our head around to see Ashley running toward us. I low growled at her as a warning to stay back as I heard the sound of the creature's claws scrapping on the ground. My wolf wanted to charge at it and attack. I overruled their decision and we backed up. She fought me but relented. The creature screeched us again before scrambling down a drain. To my agent extraordinaire, Madeleine Noble, heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. To my agent extraordinaire, Madeleine Noble, heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. Are you okay? I nodded my furry head as I shifted back to human. Did you see it? Did you see that? What was that? Scrambling to my feet, realizing I was stuck without clothes with no clothes. I don't know. Ashley pulled off her sweater and handed it to me. Whatever it was. I pulled the sweater as more people arrived. What did it look like? Someone else asked. Hairless. It was so white. A mouth full of razor teeth. Covered in red water. What? A man in a police uniform asked, approaching us. Is that a body? I nodded. Are they alive? He asked, running to them. I don't know. There was something eating them. There's no flesh missing. There is a wound on the stomach, though. What was that? Why did it look like that? Why was it eating them? I cried. Call your dad. I grabbed my cell phone from my tattered pants and called. To my agent extraordinaire, Madeleine Noble, heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. He asked Dad. There was another attack. I saw the creature. I don't know what it is. It climbed into the drain. To my agent extraordinaire, Madeleine Noble, heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. Silver Peak. Tears streamed down my face. I'm on my way. I put my phone away as the police officer stood up. Who did you call? My dad. Beta Kenrick from Moon Mist. He's been investigating these attacks. I'm Chief Wayne. To my agent extraordinaire, Madeleine Noble, heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. I told him. I'm Ellie. It went down the drain. The drain. Like, dive into the drain. Why would it go into the drain? He pondered. It wanted to get away. Did it say anything? I shook my head. No, it just screamed. Like this high-pitched guttural scream. Interesting. To my agent extraordinaire, Madeleine Noble, heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. Kneeling beside the drain, shining a flashlight into it. Holy shit. He stumbled back as the scream echoed up. I yelled was. It ran into the drainage system. What the hell was that? Should we chase it? Ashley asked. I don't think we're prepared for that. I don't know what it is. What if it attacks again? He just stood there staring at the drain. I honestly don't know. I don't know. Can we please get out of this alley? I need clothes. You girls go. Go to the station and tell them to send the coroner. We'll get the body to the morgue for your dad. He's coming with an entire team. That's fine. Hopefully, they have more of an idea of what we're dealing with. What other packs are affected? So far, Moon Mist, Misty Pines. And now you guys. What about Deer Creek? We haven't been there yet, Ashley said. I'll put a call into them. He ran his hands through his hair before rubbing his face. This is too much. Ashley and I turned from him and ran to the police station. Hey, hello. We need help. What's wrong? A young officer arrest. Chief Wayne needs the coroner. Coroner? What? There's a body. Down the alley across the street. To my agent extraordinaire, Madeline Nilben. Heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. A body. Yes, Ashley yelled. Are you not comprehending? He stood and pulled out his radio. We have a code 9.9. Are you sure? Chief needs help across the street. There's a DOA. What? That's what I was told. Send someone to help him. The chief ran into the station, pushing the door shut behind him. There's no. To our agent extraordinaire, Madeline Nilben. Heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. Spinning around. There's more. I pulled the manhole cover up that is in the alley. There were 3 of those things just lurking in the drainage system. Does the drainage system connect all of the packs? I questioned. He shrugged his shoulders, staring out the doors. I don't know. Who would know? Ashley asked. The water department. They have the town plans and work down there all the time. Where's the water department? Town hall. Okay. Ashley and I will head there. My dad should be here in a few hours. You're not leaving here. If they're staying in the drainage system, we should be okay up here. I'm sure Charlie thought the same thing. Another officer asked. What's wrong with Charlie? He's dead. Shit, a few of the officers said. He was in the alley. We will go down any alleys. Right to the town hall. I'll walk them. A tall, dark-haired man said, emerging from one of the rooms. Oh, Ashley muttered. I looked at her and she was staring. The man stared at her, moving through the throng of officers right up to her. What's going on? I moused her. To my agent extraordinaire, Madeline Nilben. Heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. She said dreamily. Ashley let out a low, soft growl at her. She repeated the sound. You've got to be kidding me. Now. Mine. Mine, she repeated. Can we do this later? Dead body. Strange creatures. I have no clothes. Beta, Chief Wayne asked. And a beta. What? Ashley asked. Your mate. He's the beta here. I whispered, oh. She stared into his emerald green eyes where he stared into her amber ones. I wasn't even sure she heard me. Hello. Dead body. Strange creature. Drainage system. I shook my head and headed for the door. To my agent extraordinaire, Madeline Nilben. Heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. Should you go alone? I don't care about that right now. I need to look at the city plans. Right, Beta Alistair said, pulling himself out of his love coma. Let's go. He led me to a closet and dug around before handing me a pair of work pants and boots. I hurriedly pulled them on and followed him. It was so weird, seeing how instant the attraction was and how magnetic. He held Ashley's hand tight as we left the building. Outside seemed so normal. People continued walking about, shopping as if there were some strange wolf-eating creatures lurking beneath their feet at this very moment. Chapter 14. Despite the height and level of anxiety, the walk to the town hall was quickened and eventful. My heart was still pounding as I held up the two big pants and shuffled along because the shoes were too large. I breathed a sigh of relief when we entered the building. Safety. Beta Alistair. The guard sitting at the desk exclaimed, jumping up, Bruce. Leading us past the man. Where's the water department? Their office is on the 3rd floor. They keep all of the city plans there. Alistair have answered. Instead of going to the elevators, he led us to a set of stairs. I nodded and followed behind him and Ashley. She stayed as close to him as was appropriate for a Baitan and his newly found mate. I can't believe she found her mate in the middle of all this shit. How is that even possible? We walked up the 3 flights and entered a dark hallway. This isn't promising. It's the middle of the day and everything is off. Almost like he could read my mind. He pulled out a key ring and inserted a bronze skeleton key into the first door we stopped in front of. Where's everyone? Ashley asked. I'm assuming out checking drainage systems and whatever else they do. Checking them. As in being inside them. He paused for a moment and looked up. Shit. I guess so. When we go on our radio, the guys from one of their radios. Where would the city plans be? Physical plans. They're in giant binders on bookshelves. It's just a matter of finding the right ones. The door swung open and Beta Alistair flipped a switch, illuminating a large and messy office. Oh goddess, Ashley gasped. This place is a mess. Yeah, the guys aren't really good with keeping things neat. I'm going to start over here. To my agent extraordinaire, Madeline Milburn. Heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. Pulling a binder off the shelf. I flipped through, reading the descriptions trying to find one of the drainage plans that weren't specific to just Silver Peak. On my 3rd binder, I found one that showed the drain system where the creature climbed in. Here's the initial entry point that we found. Now we just need to find a map that connects all of the systems. Ashley said, pulling multiple pieces of a map out of the back of the binder. We laid them out on the floor and stood back looking. This could be a huge problem. To my agent extraordinaire, Madeline Milburn. Heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. Staring at the paper. I had no idea that we were all connected underground. Beta Alistair muttered. What does this mean? Ashley asked. I laid the thin piece of paper that I had from the entry point on top of where it was located on the giant map. I pointed to the entry drain. This is where the initial creature climbed in. This manhole here. This is where Chief Wayne saw the 3 creatures in the pipe. To my agent extraordinaire, Madeline Milburn. Heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. I traced my finger along the smaller pipes to the very large ones. The pipe connects to these large ones. The large ones spider out and connect to every other pack. Oh no. We need to tell your dad. Beta Alistair. Can I take these to show my dad? Who is your dad? He's Beta Kenrick from Moonmist. He's investigating the other incidents from these creatures. He pursed his lips and nodded. If he's already investigating, maybe he has a theory that we can all work on. I motioned to the maps. Could really make a difference. Is he on his way? I nodded my head. He should be here in a few hours. To my agent extraordinaire, Madeline Milburn. Heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. We'll head back to the police station then. My office is there. He wrapped an arm around Ashley and pulled her close. We can get to know one another better. Plan the mating ceremony. Batting her long eyelashes at him. He smiled down at her and nodded his head. How is it possible you managed to find your mate in the middle of all of this insane shit? I am just really lucky. She rested her head on his massive chest before looking at my forlorn face. To my agent extraordinaire, Madeline Milburn. Heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. How rude of me. I am so sorry. To my agent extraordinaire, Madeleine Nobel. Heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. Data, Alistair asked. It's a long story, she whispered. I'll tell you later. Don't be sorry. I looked at the beta. My ex-boyfriend, the future alpha of Moonlist, mated with my twin sister our 18th birthday. His eyes grew as large as saucers. He didn't wait for a mating ceremony. Ashley shook her head fiercely. No, it was so horrible and inappropriate. Just right there in front of everybody. And he is your future alpha. He looked at me. He is. Well, not yours anymore. He nuzzled her neck. I sighed heavily and folded the nut back up. Will you finish the trip with me? Our trip. Are you going to finish it with me? To my agent extraordinaire, Madeleine Nobel. Heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. She glanced up at the beta. Do you mind? He smiled and shook his head. I won't interrupt something that seems so important to the two of you. I'm not going anywhere. She smiled at him and looked at me. Great. Ashley laced her arm through mine. There are still 2 more packs. Your mate is out there. Honestly, I'm not even that concerned with that. It's all of this that has me worried. I pushed my hair to the side, revealing the mark that was high up on my forehead. Something I had completely forgotten about. That mark. That is interesting. I rubbed it as my cheeks flushed. To my agent extraordinaire, Madeleine Nobel. Heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. It's just a thing. I've seen something similar. What? Ashley and I both exclaimed. In a book in Winter Lake, a mark just like this. Yeah, why? Do you remember anything about it? He shrugged his shoulders. Not really. Just that it looked interesting. I know it said something about Goddess Artemis. Ashley leaned close to me whispering, Did Artemis lie to you? Are there other children of hers? I don't know, I whispered back, but I'm going to look for that book when we get there. Ashley's eyes lit up. Hey Beta Alistair. He chuckled lightly. You don't have to call me Beta. Alistair, she said sheepishly, her cheeks flushing. Would Ellie be able to defect to Silver Peak after our trip? Defect? Why, he questioned, narrowing his eyes at me. The whole ex-boyfriend alpha mating with her sister thing. It's kind of awkward. He nodded and rubbed his chin. I could speak with Alpha Wesley. I don't see why that would be a problem. You're Beta's daughter. You're assisting with a very big problem, and you are my mate's best friend. That would be lovely, I said a bit sadly. Ashley hugged me tightly. I want you happy. To my agent extraordinaire, Madeleine Nobel. Heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. I hugged her back. I am. As long as you're my best friend, I'm happy. To my agent extraordinaire, Madeleine Nobel. Heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. Are you guys there? Alistair spoke into one of the radios. Beta, is that you? Where are you guys? Police station. There is some weird shit going on. We know. We're on our way, The man on the other end asked. He put the radio down before I reached over for it. Just in case. Good idea. Grabbing the last 2. Alistair popped his head into the Alpha's office, noticing he wasn't there. We'll find him later. Let's get to the police station. We walked swiftly the few blocks to the police station without incident. The lobby was jam-packed with even more people wearing every uniform imaginable. Beta. A man in an orange and yellow jumpsuit pushed his way through the crowd. Beta. To my agent extraordinaire, Madeleine Nobel. Heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. What's up? Those things. What are those things? You saw them. Saw them. They attacked us. The damn thing bit Charlie. He's over with the medics getting his aunt dressed. He's still awake. Oscar nodded. I need to speak with him. We haven't found anyone alive or talking that were attacked. I shuffled through the crowd till I saw a man wearing the same jumpsuit as Oscar sitting with a few medics. They held his arm up, pouring something over it. I stopped next to the man and stared at the injury. Ma'am, please step back. I'm working with Beta Kenwick of the Moon this pack. We're investigating these attacks. Can I just see the wound? The medic held up Charlie's arm. The wound was circular with multiple puncture wounds. Did you see the creature? Charlie nodded, tears in his eyes. That bite hurt something awful. I stooped next to him, holding his hand. I am so sorry this happened to you. I stared into his eyes. Can you tell me what it looked like? It was so white. I've never seen a creature so white. And it looked human, like except the ears were pointed. The eyes were so red. The mouth was just sharp teeth, and there was no hair. He held up a medallion on a chain. I managed to pull this off its neck. I took the medallion and turned it over in my hands. It appeared to be golden, or at least gold-plated, with some sort of feather etched into it with a strange symbol. A long line with 2-line criss, crossed at the top and a last on straight across at the bottom. I handed it over to Ashley and Alistair. They turned it over and over, examining the circular piece of gold. What is it? Ashley asked. A symbol of some sort. I've never seen it before, Alistair said. Neither have I, but lately there's a lot I don't know. I put my hand on his arm and smiled at him. Thank you so much. I appreciate what you've told me. Goddess Artemis be with you and heal you quickly. An almost peace came over his face as he turned back to the medics. He saw the same thing I did. What are they? Thank you for tuning in. If you enjoyed this episode of the story, please give it a like. And don't forget to subscribe to get notifications for updates.